All right, it's Thursday. What the hell happened last night? What exactly happened? A lot apparently, and we marched from 301 Cedar Avenue onto a highway, and I was a part of that march, and I led some of the chants. It was organized by damn near every single group in Minneapolis, St. Paul, in the metro area. I mean, if you saw the Facebook event, it was everybody. And you had to scroll at least 2 pages just to see all the icons. It was wild. And what we were marching for was a fair election. And as you know, the not-so-homie has been trying to hold up election counts in Pennsylvania and wherever he's potentially going to lose, and basically steal an election, as some folks from other countries can attest to. Even people in this country can attest to. The popular vote doesn't always win, but to demand a fair election. So we marched onto the highway. What happened then was an utter failure on the city and the state to address. They kettled in all of us on the highway, and they had no plan. They had no plan for what to do after that. We were marching off of the highway, and they had paused us off of getting on a Cedar, I believe, and they just stopped us there, and they wouldn't move. There were police, there was the sheriff's department, which the sheriff's department is special. It takes a special type of human to really get into those clothes. And I'm not saying it's a bad or good thing, but those folks are zero dark 30 type shit. Like they're different. And then there was National Guard was there. Hi, it's been a while. Thank you for coming back. I'm sure you were called by Walz. And then there were feds down there as well. So there's a few friends that I have that are loosely connected to people that are connected to feds, and they said they were there. So all that being said, everybody was there. It was a party. They got to stand and watch it. And a few key points of what happened were they could have let us through. They illegally detained us for over 3 hours. Some folks 5 hours. They handed out citations that nobody can find the numbers for online, and it is what it is. So there's that. What happened for the governor was he demanded the zero tolerance policy for protesting because of what had happened with some of the property and I think just the image that he's wanted to put out from Minnesota. The issue with that is when you have law enforcement officers that have been brutalizing Black, Latinx, Indigenous, and all gradients of brown and Black folks for decades, then you got a problem. You got people that are going to say something about it. And so we took to the highway to address that. And in addressing that, they kind of exacerbated the whole issue with providing basically just militarized, for lack of a better term, just soldiers. Militarized, just police to address the protest. The thing that you find out quickly is you start to, like, your brain goes into this place where you're like, okay, we're going to jail. We're going to jail. And parts of you resist it, and you're like, no, I don't want to go. I can't go. I gotta be to work in the morning. I gotta feed my cat. I gotta eat. I gotta drink coffee in the morning. Like, you have all these like privileges that you have that you can do, and you start to really get into the mindset of folks that have been serving time. There's really nothing else going on outside of there, right? So you resist that. Then you slowly start to accept it, and you're like, all right, this is what's gonna happen. I've accepted my fate. This is what it's gonna be. I'm fine with that. And then the last part, at least from my experience, was, oh, I'm not alone. Everybody's here. It's the whole community here. And we're all here for a reason. I'm not here by myself. I'm not gonna go to jail by myself. And the great news is that you're not gonna go to jail alone. You're gonna go with some of your comrades. You're gonna go with some of the people that are fighting right alongside you, that have been marching alongside of you. And I see some of those people in that march, and I've been seeing them for the past half year, nearly for the past half year. Those are that's like family in a sense, like, you know, weird family that you kind of see every, 2 weeks or something. You're like, oh, hey, what's going on? You have like a weird conversation, or, but we're eye to eye, and we're comrades, and we're on the same page. And that was the big positive to take away from it. I hate to look at it as like gamey, but I think it was a win for everybody that was there, because what they wanted to do, just a few more details, what was going on. What they wanted to do, from what I heard from some folks that are connected to the folks that were in uniforms that were standing outside of us, what they wanted to do is they wanted to brutalize everybody there and arrest them. They wanted to get mayhem going, is what I was told, and also what it felt like. And to address that, the cops were on one side of the highway for a part of it. Then they inched in, then they hopped the barrier, and then they were like face to face with us, and they kept closing in. So if that doesn't tell you that physical harm is going to come our way, I don't know what does. Also, there were people in the apartments on the other side of the highway that were filming. What did the cops do? They shined their lights up at the people filming. And then they had the homies up top of 94, right next to us, closest to us, that had tear gas ready. And so what they were doing is they were blotting out the cameras because they didn't want them to see what they were about to do. That's when it got scary. When they were like, yeah, we're gonna try to put up a curtain here because you don't want to know what's gonna happen to these people. And then we started calling for everybody to film. That's when things got done. And here's the deal. This is why this is so damn important, and why we're giving out these cameras. Because if people of color have cameras, they can film the atrocities and the absolute just nasty racist behavior of the city that is criminalizing them and dehumanizing them. You can film that and show it to people, and show them. And it's not even out of context. Give it to people. Like show that to people. And when there were too many people that were filming, they put the lights down. They put the lights away because they couldn't control the whole thing. Then what they did to the people in the apartment, they maced them and they went into the apartment. They beat some ass. Like, I saw some people get taken down and like they were screaming. So that was terrifying. Then you look over to the Cedar Bridge where the old Brugger's used to be, and Christ, it's a gas station. I think it's the Arco now. You saw comrades over there cheering. They were coming across the bridge. They were trying to get into wherever they could to cheer and like be in solidarity. So that was a positive. And it was something that had to happen and had to get addressed. So, and we'll talk more about why people say, well, why were you on the highway? That's not peaceful. That's not peaceful at all. It's dangerous. Yeah, well, we'll talk about that in the next video, because there's a lot to say about that, and you should be so lucky to be able to complain about a highway. Oh, oh God, that's a fun one to talk about. I can't wait to talk about that one. So that's what was on the highway, and there's other details that I'm forgetting and leaving out, but you get to a point where you start to get a little wildly, in your head. But then once you get over the fear or just being scared, you accept it. You're like, all right, this is what this is going to be, and I'm with all these folks, and it is what it is. The brutality was the scary part. When they started blotting out cameras, that's when I was like, they're gonna tear gas us and beat the crap out of us. That's what's gonna happen, and there's not a thing we can do about it. And there's no sight lines here that people can really see, but folks tried to find it as much as they could. For the people in the apartments next to us that got beat up, I'm sorry. That's horrible. That was bad, and I feel for those people. But that was messed up. They also, dear Lord, they came in on horses. They had horses. They had bicycles, and these brothers show up on the bicycles on the highway. and you see them, and they're like in gear 1. And so it's like their feet are like just going, like they're pedaling as hard as they can. And you see the leader, which is like some old, silver-haired white guy that's like, just doing his gear 2. And I can't help but think, like, when they come out and bike, you hear the dun 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 dun, like it's like the monkeys, the flying monkeys in the Wizard of Oz. And it's just, they come out and you're just like, oh my God, they're here. Why are they here? And they're not doing anything. And they just stand there and they have their bikes and they push them forward. And that was that. But then there were cops on horses as well. And they just trotted around. And the girls had their fun, and that was that. They just pranced around on their horses. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that is, but all right. Oh, last thing. So I do voiceover. Voiceover is great. It's a great business to be in. Whoever they hire to do the announcements for the police is perfect. It sounds like Judge Dredd 3. When he sounds off, he's like, you all are under arrest. You all are, it is monotone as a computer. He's beating out a computer. A computer can't replicate that. So that, kudos to him. But the thing was, they first announced that we were under arrest for public nuisance. Then later they said we're under arrest for unlawful assembly. Then later on they said we're under arrest for public nuisance. So that whole thing, I don't know what that was, and I'm sure people can sound off in the comments below. I know that there's going to be a ton of trolls and some weird folks saying some like punitive, threatening stuff, but go ahead. I mean, it is what it is. But that's what happened last night. We're going to talk about it in bits and pieces more down the road. So we're all out, and they let us out with citations. But there was kind of word that there was going to be something different than citations and people walking out. So we're thankful for that. And the one thing I have, the biggest takeaway is a gratitude for everybody that was there. So if you don't know who your community is, you know who it is now. And it was everybody that was on that highway. And y'all have my undying gratitude. And any way that I can help or serve y'all, I'm here for it. And we will see you in the next one.